What's up, YouTube? It's your host, J Wave. We're back in the Wave Room, and today I got a special guest for you guys, my brother.
My name's Robert, Jack's brother, and today we're going to be talking about
Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 2. Right before we made this video, we just went back and we watched the first fight, just so we could get a feel of how these two pair up against each other. As you saw in the fight, it was a first round knockout on McGregor's side. However, it was a long time ago that this fight happened, so we could expect that they've both grown a lot since then, and that this one's going to play out a little bit differently. What's your prediction on it?
My prediction as of right now, I think, is probably maybe a second or third round knockout by Conor McGregor. You know, they both have skills. Dustin obviously has amazing hands. Conor, one of the best strikers in the UFC.
Agreed.
Up there, I'd say maybe next to Israel Adesanya, and that's
definitely
about it for you.
I would say Conor is definitely like top 5 strikers of all time.
I really say it's him or Adesanya. I mean, who else would you even? John Jones
has some pretty good striking. You know, you also have like those power guys, like you have like Ngannou and like, you know, fighters like that. But I feel like with Conor, it's more so about his precision
in terms of technical boxing.
Yeah, in terms of like his technical boxing. I mean, he's one of the only MMA fighters to actually go and do boxing as well, fighting against Floyd Mayweather. But yeah, Conor was one of the only UFC fighters to ever actually go and do boxing, so that just speaks to his skill set and how well he handles himself, you know, with the hands. But talking about Dustin Poirier, I agree with you. I definitely think that McGregor's probably going to win this fight, just seeing how the last fight went, and also just how McGregor's been able to stay consistent throughout the years and always had like a high level of striking, and not to mention that he hits a lot harder than most lightweights. I believe it's in lightweight that they're fighting, right?
Yeah, they confirmed.
Yeah, so, you know, in lightweight, McGregor is coming down from 170. He seemed pretty comfortable at that weight, so you can expect you're getting hit not by someone that naturally weighs 155. You're getting hit by someone that naturally weighs 170 or higher. So the strength there and the muscle capacity is probably going to be a lot harder than Dustin, who has never gone up past 155. Am I right?
I don't think so. Obviously, their first fight happened at featherweight, but I think something to keep in mind is that I think the weight cut, especially to featherweight, hurt Poirier more than it hurt Conor, because Conor's not really too big of a guy. But I think that, one, the skill and the endurance that we've seen from Dustin Poirier recently, like in his last contest with Hooker.
Dan Hooker, that was an incredible fight. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but one of the best fights of the entire year. Probably the best fight I've personally seen live. It was insane.
In terms of 2020, I would say Weili versus Joanna happened in 2020.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight as well.
I'd say it's one of those two for fight of the year.
Yeah, Poirier looked amazing. So did Dan Hooker. Shout out to him. But both of them gave it their all, went all 5 rounds. And, you know, I agree with the decision, though. I definitely think that Dustin Poirier 100%. Came out on top. He put in a lot of heart. I think Dan Hooker kind of gassed out, too, especially in the last rounds.
Well, I mean, it's to be expected with such a high-paced, you know, fight like that.
They were going at it the entire time. There was no breaks, no hesitation. They were just out to kill, and that was a crazy fight. Crazy fight. And that's one thing, though, that I will give to Poirier in this matchup with McGregor is definitely, I think, his cardio and his stamina is a little 100%. Bit better. If anything, if there's a scenario where Poirier wins this fight, it'll be in the later rounds, I think.
I would agree with that. I mean, you look at historically with Conor, he's had trouble always in these later rounds. You look at his contest against Khabib. Obviously, Khabib dominated the majority of the fight, but he was able to finish him in those later round, the fourth round. Or you even look at the Diaz fight, even though he won that fight, you look at rounds 3 and 5. Those were fights where he really, you know,
he was tired. He barely made it together in those.
And
fights.
That was at 170.
Yeah, 170. So we'll see how it goes for Conor. But definitely, in terms of my prediction, I think that if within the first 2 rounds, I could predict a McGregor technical knockout. If it goes past that, maybe, you know, I'm going to give Poirier a better chance, especially if it goes to decision. If he could kind of like put in a higher volume in those later rounds, accumulate some strikes for the judges, I think that would definitely give him an edge in winning the fight.
Another thing that's important, I think, that will be a deciding factor to this fight is how Conor McGregor comes in. Because if he comes in, which I don't think he will, the way he did against Khabib, where he was just out of control and didn't seem, I know it's a joke, but motivated. He didn't seem ready. But you look at something where he came in against Donald Cerrone, and Donald Cerrone, with all respect to him, is not to the level.
Yeah,
I would say
he's definitely not where Poirier is.
Where Poirier. I would not put him in the ranks of, you know, top 5, top 10. But he is a tough guy. Nobody's gonna doubt that.
Cerrone, one of the greatest UFC fighters ever. I mean, he has the most knockouts in history.
Most knockouts, most wins. crazy.
Yeah, legend. Absolute legend. But yeah, I think that Cerrone definitely is like past his prime at this point. I think, you know, McGregor kind of like, it was a pretty easy win for McGregor. It wasn't too difficult for him to win that fight. But yeah, definitely with Poirier, we're both McGregor winning. That's what you would say?
As of right now, I would say I have McGregor winning.
Yeah, so that's the official prediction here in the Wave Room. You know, if you guys want to play some bets, you know, comment below. You know, I'll take y'all money. McGregor is probably going to win first or second round knockout. That's what we're predicting. Until the next time, J-Wave signing out.